All right, we are back at the Over the Rainbows Bonspiel. You're looking live at sheet number 2. Scott, we got the A quarterfinal coming up. I am Sean Graham from the Game of Stones podcast. As I said, Scott alongside. As always, how are you today, Scott?
Sean, couldn't be any better for this key A quarterfinal matchup between Team Pizzetti and Team Joyce.
Yes, so as with the 2 o'clock game that we did, we got a local squad with a team from Toronto. So it is Team Pizzetti from Toronto. Anthony Pizzetti is the skip alongside Devin, Travis, and Larry. They're going up against Team Joyce. It is Bill Joyce, who is local here at the Ottawa Curling Club, along with Peter, John, and David. Those are our 2 sides in this A quarterfinal matchup. Bill played earlier in the noon game. First game of the playoffs for Team Pizzetti. They were higher as the qualifier. Did not have to go through that qualifier game. Now we are into the playoffs, Scott. This is where the pressure ratchets up. Bill is a very good player. I've played against him many times on Thursday nights here at the Ottawa Curling Club. But Team Pizzetti coming in with a very good pedigree in their own right. Runners-up at this Bonspiel. They've been runners-up at the Gay Nationals before, qualified already for this year. This should be a very good game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, Sean. We've got a couple of good teams that are used to making really good shots. And honestly, the way that the ice has been really good. It's nice and keen. We just had some ice maintenance, so I'm expecting teams to come out firing on this one.
Yeah, the ice should be nice and quick. As you said, a full scrape was done in that 45 minutes. A couple teams tried to make it so that the ice makers didn't have the full 45 minutes. Good on them for trying, but everything got done. A good job by Rick and the entire ice team here at the Ottawa Curling Club. We have great conditions here. We did peek outside during the break. Still is snowing, and there are more people not only in the building than there were earlier, but more people in this immediate warm room too.
Yeah, that's right, Sean. It's the warm room is the apt name for this area right now because it is cooking in here. The vibes are off the charts. It's hot, and I think it's going to be a great atmosphere for a game between these 2 excellent teams.
Yeah, so it should be a very good time here at the Ottawa Curling Club. You brought your hoodie. I wore a long sleeve shirt. Neither were necessary. Very warm in here, and the action should be hot out on the ice. So we are going to get it started. It will be Team Joyce with the hammer here in the first end, and it is going to be Larry Tobin throwing the lead rocks to get us started here in the A semifinal.
Yeah, Sean, throwing the yellow stones. Larry from Newfoundland and Labrador originally, but now lives in Toronto. He's a retired teacher and a stay-at-home dad.
And according to the sheet, no fun facts.
I mean, other than that, he is also the daddy of the team.
Yes. They had a chance to catch up with Team Pizzetti before the game. Good group of guys. Seem like they're having a really good time here. But as was given to me in the scouting report, don't take them lightly. They might be having a good time, but they know what they're doing out here on the pebbled ice.
That's for sure, Sean. And that first center-ish guard that goes up looks pretty good.
And here is the lead for Team Joyce, David Martins, and unfortunately, he slipped. And I think probably a good thing that our camera team here is great. Probably a good thing they didn't catch that one, though. So nothing doing there for David. I think he's okay. Is going to get a hand up here from Peter. But a bit of an inauspicious start here for Team Joyce.
Yeah, a little tough there for David, but once they do the ice maintenance, it is quite slippery out there. And David is a tall man.
He almost just fell again.
David's a quite a tall man, so you got a long way to fall.
Yeah, very true. Hopefully that gets that out of the system there for Team Joyce and for David. In particular, we don't need any ambulance runs here on this Saturday afternoon at the Ottawa Curling Club. So
no, especially not. And David does work at the Montreal Children's Hospital, so definitely don't want ambulances involved in today's events.
No, he's got much more important things to go back to on Monday. Need him in 100% condition there. So Larry with the come around comes a bit deep here. Not surprising. We do expect the ice to be pretty quick off the top here of this game.
Yeah, that's right. After a scrape and a pebble, usually it comes out pretty keen, so not a surprise there.
A much smoother delivery there from David on his second one. We'll keep an eye on this path. In the last game, Scott, we got a lot of crashing on guards on this out-turn draw path. We're getting a lot of curl here, 4.5, maybe 5 feet. So we'll see if that sticks after the scrape that we had, and certainly that is the case here on the over curl by David. That might have been a little light as well.
A little bit light, but that was quite a bit of curl. So we're going to get our first look here at the in-turn side, or the clockwise turn per the WCF. So we'll see. Iced for about 4 feet of curl right now.
Yeah, so this is Travis throwing the second stones. He is the lone member of the team who is not on the Nationals team. He is in here for the weekend. So, but they've all played together. They know each other well. Should know the release here, be able to read it. And again, this one looks like maybe a little too much juice from Travis on his first here.
Yeah, a little too much weight, but the line was perfect. So they'll be able to take a lot from that throw there by Travis.
And the second for Team Joyce today is John Whitaker. A bit of a surprise appearance from John in this event. He was only going to come up and hang out this weekend. John is a former longtime member of the Ottawa Curling Club. Moved to Kingston a few years ago after he retired. So his plan was to just come up and enjoy the weekend, but Bill needed a player. Their second was sick, so John was pressed into action. And with his first here is going to peel away that corner guard.
Yeah, I think he was trying to run that back into the yellow pile there, but in any event, it opens things up a little bit more for Team Joyce.
Yeah, that's one of those ones where you're never upset with that result. If he had nosed it, maybe not thrilled, but sort of a half peel there, and that guard, the red one, could still be used as we go along here.
Yeah, and it was blocking the draw path in the position it was in, so not too sad to see it go. Travis here throwing another draw, and we'll look to see the curl in this spot. We saw the first one over curl a bit. This one does look a little hot.
They definitely want this above the tee line. It'll come and cover the pin. So it is 3 right now for Team Pizzetti. So some work to be done here for Team Joyce.
Yeah, Sean, that shot'll earn you a turkey in certain events. A little 5 big points there, but it's accessible for Team Joyce, and we'll see what John does here.
So this is now, I think, the 5th one down this path. So they should know what it's doing, and fully up to speed here. Big scrub here from David and Peter. Can they get it around the guard?
Looks like they're by the guard, but they might be over curling the one in the house.
Need to drag it in as far as they can, and it will come to rest in the 4-foot. It will be second shot. Cuts down Team Pizzetti to sitting 1, but it did over curl and is wide open out on the in-turn side.
Yeah, wide open there. A nice weight by John. They just probably needed another rock's worth of broom on that one, I'd say.
So the third for Team Pizzetti is Devin Martin. Originally from Ottawa, Scott, born here in the nation's capital, so a bit of a homecoming for him this weekend.
Yeah, it's always fun to come to your city of birth. Sean, have you been back to the city of your birth lately?
No, I have not. Have you?
I can't say as I have, but pretty...
Well, if I could go make shots like that, maybe I'd go more often.
That is right.
Beautiful hit there for Devin on his first one here. Maybe wanted a bit of a roll in, but certainly would take that nose hit.
Absolutely. So it looks right now for Team Joyce like Peter's going to be asked to come in and sit on top of the shot stone.
Yeah, the third for Team Joyce. Peter DeBarros here first rock in the first end for him, and facing 4.
Never easy to face 4 on your first shot of a game, Sean. Let's see what Peter's able to do here. Sweepers seem to like the weight.
It's a wider path than what we've seen, though. A little wide here. See if they can get it to curl in. John is going hard to try and get this to the nose of the shot stone, and it is coming in very nicely here. Can they drag it into the shot stone? They can. Maybe a bit of an over curl, but a very good spot here for Team Joyce. Nice shot.
Yeah, the angles are working really good for Team Joyce there. You could hammer the yellow that's sitting top 8 foot into that situation, and the red's not going to be able to go. So if Team Pizzetti here wants to remove that red stone, they're going to have to throw maybe some hack, back line to hack weight, and try to get a lot of curl and push that one out to the back right side of the house.
Yeah, very delicate shot here for Devin, because as you say, that setup, the angles right now on the other side of the sheet are very good for Team Joyce with that shot from Peter.
That's right. Sweeper is on it immediately there, but
going for line here now. Trying to make it move here at the end, trying to get to the red stone. Big scrub is on now. Travis trying to make it curl. Can they get to the red? Little tap. Very nice shot.
Very nicely done. Very nicely done.
Now they are only sitting 1 still, but that red is no longer a threat.
That's
in
right.
The way it was.
And it's sort of accessible from the right side of the sheet as we're looking at it now. That yellow. So what do you think Team Joyce does here?
Really tough spot here for Bill. I think you kind of have to go with this call and do another draw. If you can touch something back here and rearrange those angles, because where Devin's rock ended up is not great. It's going to have to move, and it's going to take multiple shots to do it. So really tough spot here for Peter, but I like this call by Bill, trying to rearrange things.
Yeah, tap things back, move them behind the tee line, because as we always say, you can't make a rock behind the tee line better.
Coming in here, John trying to make it curl. You get tap. A beautiful shot right there by Peter. So again, it was going to take, and it still will take a couple shots for Team Joyce to have a chance at a multiple, but they are, it looks like, sitting 1 at the moment.
Yeah, it's pretty close between those two. I don't know if I'd bet anything on whose shot, but I do know that it's close.
Well, we'll see when we get the overhead shot here. Very close. But actually, I think you're right. Maybe it is yellow here, sitting 1. But if I was either team, I'd put a stick on it.
Yeah, exactly. And Sean, this shot here is what I like to see, the front end, getting the hack ready for the thrower. You want to save all the time you can when you're playing. You don't want the skip to be worrying about pulling his own rock, all that kind of stuff. So,
and we don't want to age Larry by any means, but that's that 40 years of experience, that play right there.
That's right, exactly. You can't manufacture that experience.
You can't, no. Very true.
So it does look to me like they're going to play the little raise on the yellow sitting top 8 foot. Into the second shot stone?
Either shot or second shot. It's really hard to tell.
Right.
We have a couple angles here on the overhead, and we can't tell. So I think playing on it is the call. Like, if you don't know what it is, make the play.
Yeah, you make this play. You could sit 2 pretty easily. It does leave Team Joyce with that pretty nice opportunity on the counterclockwise turn coming down the other side. But let's see how this one plays out.
So throwing a bit of weight. Looks like control up, maybe even a normal hit here. Trying to run the yellow right back onto the red. Just
looking to make it curl.
Big sweep here by Larry, trying to get it over. We go bang, bang, roll it over just a little too far. But it is going to be sitting 3 for Team Pizzetti. Nice shot.
Yeah, pretty good shot. They rolled further than they wanted to. And as a result, Bill might have a chance to come here and make a hit and roll on the rock that was the previous shooter.
It was a nice sweep by Larry there, getting on it at the end, because they did need to make it curl. So good job by Larry. Good call in the house by Devin. You can see it already. First end here on the guys. Sort of already breathing a little hard. It's been a long weekend so far.
That's right.
So the front end, it's really a test of endurance. So good job by those guys.
Yeah, and you're right, Sean. The front end, it is so important that you have that endurance to be able to sweep multiple rocks and be able to go post to post on a few of them. So what we're going to see here from Bill? We're going to see him play not the rock that was the shooter, but
no, it looks like he's going to try to come in with maybe a hack weight here and get to the inside of this yellow one and rub off and roll into the button. It is accessible. The button is accessible via this stone, but not one that I'd want to play on my first shot of a game, I got to tell you.
That's for sure, Sean. Bill is quite a good player and did have a chance to take a 7-ender a few weeks ago, so he should have his draw weight and his touch.
Big sweep here. It is starting to cut towards the red. Can they get it by? No. It is going to rub off, move the red one over, and it looks like they have been cut down to 2. So it looks like Team Pizzetti is sitting the 2 here in the first end with Anthony about to throw his last.
Sean, they might be cut down to 2, but it might be looking at a 7. You just hit that red.
That is a lot of yellow. It's true.
It's a lot of lemons in there and not enough cherries, I say.
Yeah, and we're not supposed to cheer doing the commentary here, but I don't know if a 7's necessarily good for the broadcast. So let's see what happens here with Anthony. This is the right call, I think.
Oh, definitely.
You have the opportunity to sit 7. You sit 7.
Sean, that old adage of if you have the chance to sit 7, you do it, could not apply more here.
Yeah, now he does have to be a little careful here. That stone is in a pretty good spot for Bill. You definitely don't want to be wide on this and drive it back into that back 4-foot position.
Yeah, definitely not. There are those 3 stacked up, sort of back 4 and back 8. You don't want to get it onto those, so I think if anything you err a bit light and let your sweepers control it as it goes in.
Yeah, being inside here is definitely the miss. Even if you get the guard, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, it looks like it's a bit wide. They're going on it to curl.
Yeah, Larry on it the whole way here. Big sweep here by Larry, trying to get it over. Want to get to the inside of the red, trying to make it move, and he will not get it as far as he wants. Roll over. The red is going to be back 8 foot, but it does look like Bill is going to be facing 4, maybe 5 with his last. I think it's 4.
It looks like 4 to me. It's pretty close, though. And the thing is, it's not an easy shot for your 1, right? If you play that one there, 9 o'clock on the right, you got to roll in. You got to roll and get a pretty good piece of the button to score.
Yeah. I'm not sure if he can score on this one. If he comes off. So it looks like he's playing a similar weight here, trying to roll off the one there. As you look down on the house in that 9 o'clock position, it might get the back of that shot stone as you roll over. So a really tough shot here for Bill, trying to bail his team out, facing. We'll go bang, bang. And it will cut down Team Pizzetti to either a 3 or a 4. We'll see what they put on the board if we get a measure here. But certainly not the start that Team Joyce was looking for.
No, I'll bet it's a steal of 3.
Yeah, Bill just indicated to us he thinks it's 3.
That's right.
I don't know if that's part wishful thinking on him or if that's what they were seeing when standing overhead. But they do.
Looks like they're still talking about it over there at the other end.
And they haven't even decided on whether it's 3, Scott. So I think they've agreed on 2. And now they kick that away.
They kicked the 4th one away, so I think, yeah.
So we might have a measure here for 2 or 3.
I'll put my bets down for 3, Sean. What about you?
that's what it looks like for us in this angle. But those overhead cameras aren't always centered, so we'll have to see. I think they're going to go get the stick here.
Yeah, and Sean, while they get the stick, I want to give a real shout out to some of the people that make this event possible, right?
Yeah, this measure sponsored by
Eric Sangster Mortgage. If you've ever wanted to get a mortgage, go talk to Eric Sangster.
Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll be able to afford a house and I can do that.
In this town, who knows?
Who knows, right?
It's so hard.
So hard. So hard.
Yeah, but big shout out to Eric Sangster Mortgage, platinum sponsor here. These sorts of things can't get done without sponsors, and love having Eric Sangster on board. So yeah, if you need mortgage advice, certainly reach out to Eric Sangster Mortgage. All right, Scott, we got the measure. It was a quick one here. No indication from the other end. It is a 3. We get the signal down, so it's going to be a steal of 3 for Team Pizzetti in the first. Scott, I always say if you're going to give up a big steal, do it in the first end. Not only does that mean that you have a lot of time to come back, but nobody out there knows it was a steal because there's no indication of who had the hammer in the front end, in the first end. So nobody knows.
Exactly. Everybody could just think, hey, I got a 3 and it's great. So basically it means, hey, I didn't win the toss and I gave up 3. And you just play on from there.
Yeah, so we'll see if Team Pizzetti changes the strategy up a bit here with the 3-point lead. I think he called this in, and a big scrub to try and get it into the top 4 foot. Great shot there by Larry. I think that's what you want here, Scott. It's a long game for sure.
Definitely.
But if you can get a force in here, and honestly, if you're Team Pizzetti, you're not upset with a blank either.
No, for sure. You're just counting the time then. And putting it in makes a lot of sense, right? You don't want to give Team Joyce the opportunity to build anything with the stone that you put up. So if you put a guard, you give them a chance to come behind it, and then you've got to make runbacks later in the game. So I think that's the right call. That's the right play.
So the call here was a freeze. David looks like he's a little heavy.
Yeah, a little big. Sean, when you play lead, and you've played lead quite a bit, that second end is always way faster than your first end, right?
It is. Like, the first end is hard because you don't know what the ice is going to be. You're kind of guessing, but you know that the second end you can't throw the same field.
Yeah.
It's going to be completely different. So for everyone else, you kind of have one end to get used to it. For the leads, it frankly is 2 ends before you have a sense of what the ice is doing. So that first rock of the second end, to me, it's harder than the first rock of the game.
For sure. I always say a curling rink feels like it's tilted towards the boards, right? Like it's always built towards the home end, just because that first rock of the second end tends to be lightning quick because, the whole end has been played, the ice is broken down, and there you go. So another nice shot here from Larry, putting his 2 in front of the tee line in the 4 foot, exactly what you want.
Yeah, beautiful freeze there. So great setup here for Team Pizzetti. Already with a 3-0 lead and putting the pressure on again here in the second end.
Yeah, so we're going to need a big shot here from David to put Team Joyce in a position of strength here. A little tap back would be ideal.
Yeah, I kind of like the weight from the last one. You just maybe less ice or something, but that weight would be nice. Give some separation. But this one is hanging out. Peter gives it a bit of a sweep to get some curl, but it's going to hang out there.
Weight's not bad. He had a lot of good rotation on that one. Late curl. Came a little deep, but it's something that Team Pizzetti is going to have to deal with.
Bit of a discussion here. I think Anthony originally called just to peel that out, and looks like they're going to shift gears here and throw the guard, really trying to put some pressure on. And, they have the late seating for dinner, but maybe they're trying to make the early seating here, put some pressure on them.
Could be, Sean, could be. I used to play in Vancouver at the Marpole Curling Club with a man named Eugene. And Eugene would always tell me, Scott, if we can make this shot, it'd be devastating for the other team. And I think that's what Team Pizzetti is trying to do, trying to make a devastating shot early here in the game.
They're trying to get this over. Devin with the sweep, and looks like it is just a bit of a separation there between those threes, but a nice shot for Travis. For as hard as it is for the lead, Scott, the same thing does exist for the seconds as well. Trying to make that draw here in the second end, but the angles do exist now. I think you could get rid of 2 of these yellows if you hit it in the right spot.
Yeah, if you hit it in the right spot, you're definitely getting rid of 2. Hopefully able to keep your shooter, but let's see what John's able to do.
It's a lot of weight hanging out a bit. Peter's on it now, trying to get it to move. Big scrub here. You want to make contact with something in the house. We'll get the middle one, which will drag onto the red.
Interesting.
Doesn't remove the red, but it will be Team Pizzetti sitting 3. I think the angles are slightly better now if you're Bill and Team Joyce, but still not a great setup.
Not great for Team Joyce, no. Inauspicious beginning. We'll see if Team Pizzetti is able to bring the hammer down here.
Yeah, and you saw there, Scott, the drag effect, not to make everybody out there drink, because it's a curling broadcast and we're mentioning drag effect, but that was the drag effect. By hitting that red or that yellow stone, the 2 were frozen, so the second one is going to go in the direction that the first one would as well. So that's why it dragged back onto the red, whereas if there was separation, it might have gone straight back. So you saw a good example on that last shot of the drag effect.
Yeah, good example, and I did take a break there to have a drink, so thanks, Sean. Again, Team Pizzetti just putting these ones in the top of the house, making Team Joyce have to deal with them to get rid of them. I kind of like this strategy, the way things are playing out so far early in this game. And we'll see if John can make a big-time bailout shot here for his team.
Yeah, I think if you can nose this and keep the red around, again, curling is really all about patience, Scott, and you only count them after all 16 have come down.
That's right.
So if John can make something go away here and keep the shooter, I think keeping the shooter is key. We'll see what happens. Comes in, gets the top one, and the shooter is going to roll away. So not what they wanted there, for sure, if you're Bill. But yeah, I think they're definitely going to have to keep some of these reds around. You can't keep giving free shots to Team Pizzetti.
Yeah, really tough there. A lot more curl than they were expecting is what they got. So Team Pizzetti with the chance to just go and do exactly what they did in the last shot, put the pressure squarely back on the shoulders of Team Joyce. But Sean, Team Joyce, their team motto is just have fun. So I know it's more fun when you win, but hopefully they're having fun out there, despite having to make some pretty difficult shots early in this one.
Got a lot of pressure being put on Team Joyce. Another guard coming here for Team Pizzetti and Devin Martin. Beautiful, nice. Beautiful touch.
Yeah, nice weight there from Devin. Gave it to his sweepers. They probably could have dragged that in if they needed to, but ends up in a really good spot. So now Bill's looking to play the shot stone. Something on there, maybe hack weight, control weight, something like that, and try to get an inside flop and use that center guard that Team Pizzetti just put up against them.
Yeah, Scott, do you think there's enough separation there that he could get the inside flop? Because it from where we're sitting looks a little tight.
It's a little tight. I mean, if the weight is perfect, it's definitely there. Looks to be a bit big.
And a big scrub here from the front end. And that is going to crash, get the guard, roll away. So not what they called, but that is a pro side miss. Get rid of that guard. Looks like Anthony's going to have to put that one back.
Yeah, he's calling for that one to be put right back in the same spot. I don't know. If you'd missed that one a bit wide, there's the chance that you might have been able to make a double on 2 of those stones. So, but getting rid of a center guard when you have the hammer is never a bad thing, right?
So Devin Martin's last here in the second end. Scott, yesterday Devin had a bit of a crazy shot, threw a board weight hit, or what was supposed to be a board weight hit, and was light, over curled, and actually tapped a halfway guard to a perfect freeze on the other team's rock. And just more evidence that sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Yeah, but, you can't be lucky if you're not at least a little bit good.
Yeah, you got to be close,
Yeah. So not a bad result on that one yesterday. Not a bad result here. Probably a bit higher than they would have liked. Probably wanted to get it to the center line, but nice weight on that guard there, and it is guarding the shot stone.
Yeah, so a good chance here for Peter to make a couple yellows go away. And again, a key here is going to be trying to keep the shooter, but this is wide. Nothing yet from the sweepers. And that looks like it is going to catch the back one.
Okay.
And roll away. So it is Team Pizzetti now sitting 2. But again, the shooter's rolling away, Scott. That's kind of been the Achilles heel so far for Team Joyce. Not making Team Pizzetti respond in any way. They're not putting pressure on them. And so, it's really important to keep those shooters in play, make the other team respond to what you're doing.
Yeah, I think if I was the coach of Team Joyce right now, what I would say to them between the next two ends is to bring that weight down a bit on your takeouts. Try to throw more board weight hits, keep that shooter in play, and force Team Pizzetti to deal with it. Right now, Team Pizzetti is dictating the pace of play, and it's not a winning combo for Team Joyce.
Not so far, but there is a lot of time left in this game. If you were with us at the 2 o'clock draw, those were 6-end games. This is an 8-end game, though, so
that's
more
right.
time for Bill and the guys to get their feet under them, get things going. So we will see. But, again, Bill's going to be facing a tough one here as we get into his 2 shots. Didn't see the call here, Scott. What would you throw, though? Are you looking guard, or are you trying to come in?
I think I'm coming in. I'm probably tapping the rock biting the top 4 foot. Try to tap it right to the button, and if I'm a bit light, then I'm okay with that. Sweeper seemed to like it out of his hand, John.
Yeah.
Let's see where it's going. It's tracking a bit.
All right, big sweep now here, trying to get it over. They really want to guard that top yellow stone. Big sweep here, trying to get it over, trying to make it move. They're going all the way, and can they get it there? Not quite. There is a hole available for Team Joyce and Bill to get through. Not easy, but they couldn't quite get it to curl. Tough shot there, Scott. We haven't really seen that side of the ice be played yet. Really tough spot for Anthony to try and get that in the right spot.
Yeah, for sure. It's a tricky one. For Bill, trying to come through this hole, I don't think you can do anything wrong, right? Either you make it through the hole like you want, or you're able to peel one or both of the guards. So I think this is the shot that you got to play. Is there anything else that you would look at?
No, I think this is absolutely the shot. And I think he actually has it both turns as well. I think there's space on the outer end. This is one of those ones where, I play third on Thursday nights, and I say to Glenn to skip a lot, like whichever turn you're seeing. Right? So this is one where if you're Peter, you say to Bill, I think both turns are there. Whichever one you're feeling, whichever one you're more confident in right now, that's the one we're going to throw. He's gone with the intern, and somewhat shockingly here, Scott, if he makes this, they could be gone from facing 4 to sitting 2.
Yeah, it's a big shot here. I think I would be playing this one too. I'd play the intern. Line's okay.
Line looks really good here. Going to have to get off the yellow. Going a bit for the curl. And they will get the top. The second won't move the shot stone quite far enough, but it has pushed it out into the open. It is Team Pizzetti sitting the 1, but in a much more perilous position than they were 2 minutes ago.
Oh, Sean, yeah, great shot from Bill there. Able to open the middle, force Team Pizzetti to deal with his shot stone, or his second shot stone. So, yeah, absolutely a great shot by Bill. Clutch, just when they needed it.
Yeah, and this is what we were talking about, keeping the rocks around, keeping stuff in play. So Anthony's going to have to be careful here. From our angle, it looks like you can't see it on the overhead here, but there is a guard, a corner guard in play. that is in the way of Team Pizzetti here. I think the stone is mostly open, but they're going to have to be careful here with this long guard, and you certainly don't want to roll out because then Bill will have an open hit for 2.
Definitely not. Yeah. It looks at least edge on edge, maybe a bit buried. I'd be expecting him to throw maybe board weight here on this one. Try to get a little curl around that guard. So let's see how it goes. A little more than board. It's probably control weight.
Trying to make a curl out of his hand here.
Looks like it's moving pretty good.
Big sweep by the guard with a lot of space. And a nice little inside flop. Very nice shot by Anthony Pizzetti. And it is, again, Team Pizzetti sitting 2 with Bill Joyce about to throw his last.
Yeah, Sean. And Bill immediately went to the, I believe it's still the shot stone, to hit it and try and flop in a bit. Is there any world in which you would attempt a very skinny double to try and make 2?
That is a pretty steep angle if you're going for the 2.
Yeah, he just threw it, but
I don't think you're at that point of the game yet, though. If this was a 6-end game, as we talked about in that 2 o'clock drop, this is a 6-end game. I think you almost have to go for that double and try to. 8-end game, get your feet under you, get a point. Maybe with giving the hammer over to Team Pizzetti, you can get your rocks in play and start to put some pressure on. But I think I like the single here if you can get it.
Fair enough. So here we go. The attempt, a little hit. Small roll, I think
he does need to come over a little bit, a little roll over. This is a little wide. Peter is shaking his head, which is never a good sign.
You don't like to hear that.
Shaking the head. And they will hit the shot stone. It will jam. But the shooter sticks around, and it will be a steal of 1 for Team Pizzetti. So it is 4-0 after 2 ends here at the A quarterfinal at the 2025 over the Rainbow Bonspiel.
Yeah, Sean, not what Bill would have liked there, and that's another instance where I think you can step the weight down a little bit, have a little more control from your sweepers on that one. So again, another steal of 1 for Pizzetti, and we go 4-0 into the 3rd end. The stream here is being sponsored by TD Bank, the showcase sheet.
Yeah.
We're on sheet 2 here at this over the Rainbow Bonspiel. Some other games around the sheets, Sean. On sheet 1, we've got Watson versus Reichelt in a D quarterfinal. On sheet 3, we've got Dunville versus Fortier in a C quarterfinal. Sheet 4, Robbie and the 3 Bears versus Team Skanes in an E quarterfinal. And on sheet 5, we've got Drinkers with a curling problem.
There you go.
And they're playing against Team Moreau. I was just going to stop there. I think that's what we might have had. That's a C quarterfinal over there. So lots of action going on here at the Ottawa Curling Club.
Yeah, I should note on curlers with a drinking problem, or drinkers with a curling problem, excuse me. One of the players very close to my heart, and that she was complaining that the teams were taking too long to play in the game earlier at noon. She was signaling to the crowd that hoping to pick up the pace. And I don't know which one is Robbie and which ones are the 3 Bears, but one of them is dressed in a very delightful winter ensemble. With the blue shorts and what looks to be a winter unitard. So, you get costumes here at the Ottawa Curling Club as well.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. You don't have to wait till Halloween to dress up in a costume.
Absolutely.
You can do it any time of the year.
Yes, and last night there were costumes. It was like 70s night. That is the theme this year of the Bonspiel. It's Fierce and Fabulous, I think, is the theme. So 70s night last night. I've seen some pictures so far today. Some of them are safe for work. Some of them are not. But you can check on Instagram of what's been going on here. But it has been a lot of fun here at the Over the Rainbow Bonspiel. So as we play in the 3rd end, it is Team Pizzetti with the advantage up 4-0. But Team Joyce does have the hammer, playing the Redstones. And Larry Tobin with 2 good ones here, top 4 foot and back 8 foot. Little deep on his first, maybe not ideal, but a really good spot of the first 2 here for Team Pezzetti.
Yeah, Team Pezzetti in control. Larry's got a couple good ones on his first 2. He's been playing a strong game so far from that lead position.
So John calling the hit, or excuse me, Bill calling the hit for David here. It looks like he's going to get the top one and roll out.
Yeah, again, Sean, it's that weight, that question of weight. Want to try and keep it a little more under control for the next rocks coming.
So now we're on second stones here. Travis is up with his first here in the third end. Again, he is the addition to the team for the weekend, not their regular competitive team, but from what we've seen so far, certainly can hold his own there on the curling sheet. Nothing yet here from Devin and Larry. Just a bit of a light clean here, looking to put this one top 4 foot, replace the one that was just removed.
Yeah, and it's right in the button. 5 big points.
Very nice shot.
Nice shot by Travis. If anybody from the Riverdale League is looking for a player, I hear he's trying to get into it. So you could do a lot worse, I'll say.
Yeah. 23 years experience for Travis. A total of 109 years of experience on this team. You can't really make up for that, Scott. There's no way to fake experience. The number of shots that these guys have seen, angles, strategy calls, that just takes time to get to. So a nice shot there from John, hit and stick. And that's what we're looking for them. Keep those rocks in play. Now for Travis and Team Pezzetti, it's not directly in front of the yellow stone, but they're going to have to be a little careful here that you don't want to dead jam this.
Yeah, you have to be a little careful. Nice shot by John there. Good weight, too, I mentioned. Yeah, that was probably a board to control weight, able to see the curl and control the shooter enough to keep it there. And like you say, now Pezzetti's going to have to do something with it.
Going with the intern here, which I think makes sense. You can keep it on the high side, avoid the jam. Trying to make it curl up, and it will. Bit of a roll over. Can Bill get this out of play? He didn't really try, but it goes out of play anyway. So
that was a classic skip sweep.
Skip sweep, yeah. It's a classic one there. And then he'll tell you how much he swept when you're sitting around.
Really got that one out of there.
Yeah. When you're over the second beer, that was a full effort sweep to get that rock.
No doubt. John lining up for a second. Sean retired from the Department of National Defense.
Yeah, we have some familiarity with the Department of National Defense.
Yeah, I've heard of it. So, good job by John putting in those years as a public servant.
Yeah, and a longtime volunteer here at the Ottawa Curling Club as well.
Past president?
I believe so.
Yeah, I believe so as well.
And, for all the clubs across the country, all the curling facilities across the country, they cannot run without volunteers. And John's one of the thousands and thousands of extraordinary volunteers that make this sport work all across the country. So our great and deep thanks to John and all the volunteers out there at the rec level. And that was a nice shot for him, maybe a little heavier than they would have wanted. But again, for Team Pezzetti, going to have to be careful in removing this.
Yeah, exactly. It was a pretty good effort by John there. And, we'll see what Devin's able to do.
Big sweep here by Larry. It's over curling, but no, it does going to dead jam. I thought it was going to curl enough that it would roll out, but it does not. It gets stuffed. The shooter rolls over, and it is now Team Joyce sitting the one, trying to get back into this game here in the third end.
Sean, if Team Joyce was looking for an opportunity, this is it. They're able to now make a play, make a shot, and draw and sit two.
But they haven't gotten any misses that I can recall yet from Team Pezzetti. That would be the first.
That would be the first, I agree.
So big shot here for Peter to try and take advantage of that miss and give them or put them in position to get the two. So calling the freeze. on the second shot rock. And I talked about this in the first game, Scott. These rocks will hug the center line for a while, especially if there's some weight to it. So
yeah, the problem is if it's not curling, it's not getting that time to slow down.
And that one is going to sail through.
Tough one for Peter there. Tough one. I believe he threw hits in his first couple ends.
Yeah, I think you're right. That would be his first draw.
And now Devin's got a chance to atone for his half shot on the first.
And just a light dusting in and a perfect nose hit. Now, if you're Team Joyce, the one saving grace of this setup is that the rocks are behind the tee line. So,
that's right.
A little surprised that Bill's going to change the turn here and go in-turn side. Would have thought try to go the same turn that Peter just threw, but going to go the other way, partly because if you freeze on the stone they just tried to freeze on, you might not be shot rock. I do think Anthony would deal with it in some way. You'd force the play over there, but I can understand what Bill's thinking here. So,
yeah,
need a good one here for Peter. And the initial indication from Bill was that was a little outside.
A little bit, but it's curling pretty good right now, and the sweepers are all over it, trying to get it to be into the house here. I think they're just going to have to go.
Yeah. And it's going to come into the full 12 foot. I think it's still sitting 2 for Team Pizzetti.
I'm craning to look at the overhead camera.
That's what it looks like to me. Can't tell for sure. If I was a betting man, I would bet that it's 2 for Team Pizzetti. Immaterial because Anthony is going to try to hit this and sit the 3. You don't need to take any chances with stuff in the house if you are Team Pizzetti at this point.
At this point, no. Just make it go away. That's the new motto of Team Pizzetti. Make it go away.
So going in turn here.
Yeah, Sean, I like that. You want to try and hit it and keep your shooter ideally towards the center line.
Yeah, definitely want to hit this high side. Looks like a nice control up, maybe even a normal weight. Travis on the sweep right out of his hand, though.
It looks like he's got it nice and high side. Probably a roller shooter out of play.
Yeah, they weren't messing around on that one, Scott.
No.
Taking no chances. You don't want to jam there, so they were not getting cute with it. Just a straight peel ends up being the call. Hard to blame them on that. Based on what we've seen out of this team, even a perfect freeze, I would suspect that they might be able to blast something out, given that it's at the back of the house.
Yeah, probably. But, we saw Bill make a really great shot in the last end, and we'll see him try to rally his team to try and get a skip's deuce here. And the first step is that perfect freeze.
Well, as I always say, if you want your name on the team, these are the types of shots that you got to make. You bail out your squad. And I've seen Bill do that more times than I care to remember. So.
That's right, Sean. By the way, how did you get your name on our team?
That's a wonderful question. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I'm the only second in the league with the name on the team.
So there you go, Yeah. I guess Ian's name is on his team.
And he's the lead.
And he's the lead.
Yeah. So a bit too much weight on that one for Bill. There's going to be an open draw to sit 3 for Pizzetti. Now, these are these discussions, Scott, when you get into this situation where Team Pizzetti doesn't need to throw here to put pressure necessarily. Like they're fine if Bill throws his last one with this setup. But if you're Team Pizzetti, where do you want to put this?
Sean, ideally you'd like to put it such that a nose hit would not be shot.
So you want Bill to draw.
Well, that's the question, right? You just saw Bill throw a draw through the house. If you're a team who's not familiar with your opponent, you sort of use what information you have. My thought would be, hey, let's put it somewhere where he's got to make a perfect draw, where he can't just nose hit it to be shot. That said, Bill a lot better because you've played against him for many years. What would your take be on this?
I think Bill's a great player on both. I mean, I think they'll
He's a better drawer?
maybe a bit of a better drawer than a hitter overall. Certainly, even a hack weight type of shot, like hacking that, like that, I think is. I mean, he can certainly make hits, but I don't want him throwing draws all the time against me.
Right. Yep.
So he'll draw you to death. So tough spot here for Bill and the team.
It looks like Team Pizzetti has put it
where they want him to draw.
pretty much.
He might be able to hit that and roll in.
He's not
bit.
messing around. He put the broom down.
Broom
he wants
down
that
right
draw,
away. That's that Bill Joyce confidence that we talk about all the time.
Yeah, you can't take that away from him.
No, he knows what he wants to do. So tough spot here, facing 3 with his last already down 4-0. But sometimes, Scott, in these games, you just got to get rid of the hammer to change the momentum. And I would certainly say that's been the case so far for Team Joyce. They haven't been able to get anything going. So if Bill can get this in there and they can get it set up in the next end, again, 8-end game, things can happen. But it has to start right here with a draw against 3.
I definitely agree, Sean. I definitely agree. We saw him have hits on his first 2 ends to try and score. This one might be a little more in his comfort zone.
And he was just heavy with the draw, so I don't expect this one to be heavy by any means. And this path is nice and worn, so sweepers should know what to expect here. And they seem to like it out of his hand. Just a light clean right now for David. Nothing yet from John.
Starting to curl, Sean.
Starting to curl.
Should be by that yellow.
And
Looks
they are
pretty
just
good.
going to dust it right into the house, right onto the pin. Great throw by Bill Joyce.
Ice water running through his veins.
Bailing out the team, and they are on the board. It is 4-1 after 3 ends here in the A quarterfinal at the 2025 over the Rainbow Bonspiel.
Never in doubt, Sean. We never had any doubt about Bill's ability to draw. No matter what you heard me say, never a doubt, never a doubt.
Had it the whole way.
Had it the whole way, Sean. I wanted to give a shout out. We talked about the volunteers that help put these events on. I want to give a shout out to club manager here at the Ottawa Curling Club, Dalal. Dalal Abu Eid is, for my money, Sean, the best club manager in curling.
No question.
She's always hustling, putting these events on, making money for the club. She's here all the time. She knows everybody. Just a top-notch operation she's got running here at the Ottawa Curling Club.
Yeah, so love the Ottawa Curling Club and their support of this event. And yeah, Dalal's the best manager in the sport. I'll fight you over it. Not like physically fight you because, like, come on, but, like a verbal spar over Dalal being the best manager in the sport. So a big shout out to our host here at the Ottawa Curling Club and Dalal. I haven't seen Dalal yet so far today. That's probably because she's running around doing a million things, as she always is, to make these sorts of events work. So here we are in the 4th end, and Team Joyce coming a little deep there, and Team Pizzetti looks like they're going to ignore it. I'm a little surprised, but now we have a discussion. And
the front end
talked him out of it.
Talked him out of it, Sean. The lead, when a lead gets a chance to throw hits,
that's true.
They're often going to say, let me throw that
Yeah.
hit. So, we'll see that from Larry here. We've seen him be spot on with his draws so far, draw weight. Let's see how he does on a hit.
Choosing the out turn. Could have played the in turn there. I'm guessing that's because of Larry's preference on the turn. We did get word before the game that Travis, the second, can only throw out turns.
He's a little Ben Hebert in that, in that regard, eh?
No word on Larry's preference on the turn there, but based on that, I would say it's an out turn. And a little bit tricky there, keeping that shooter around in the back of the 12-foot. Might not come into play, but one of those ones you got to be careful about.
Yeah, those biters, they always tend to hang around. So we'll see on this one. David's going to be looking to throw a guard halfway to tight on the center line.
Yeah, definitely don't want this one in.
It doesn't look like it's going to be in. They're trying to get it over to the center.
Getting a lot of curl here. Big swoop at the end. It looks like it will get to the center and actually split the center, if not over curl a bit. That's a bit of a shocker. At the hog line, that was 2 feet or 3 feet off of the center line.
That's just that finish you get here at the Ottawa Curling Club, Sean. You had mentioned that you might take some stats during this game. Obviously you haven't, but 4 out of 4, I think, on that one.
Yeah, definitely a 4 on that shot. If you're curious about how games are scored and how the stats are done, we do have an episode on the Game of Stones podcast feed from November, I think. You can go back into the archive on that. We talk all about how games are scored, but that was definitely a perfect 4 out of 4 for David. And this one might be a perfect 4 out of 4 for Larry, coming in just to the top of the 4-foot, and it is Team Pizzetti, as I feel like I've said a lot, sitting the 2.
Yeah, that's right. 4 out of 4 there for Larry. Sean, Team Pizzetti up 4-1 on the scoreboard, but it really feels like their front end has been playing quite well this game.
Yeah, definitely controlling the game so far for the front end of Team Pizzetti and putting Bill and Peter in tough spots when they're coming up. And
absolutely.
Yeah, the degree of difficulty for Anthony and Devin on the back end of Team Pizzetti hasn't really been that high because Larry and Travis have been so good so far. And another tough one here for John, trying to freeze onto that shot stone. Big scrub here by Peter and David, trying to get it in. Little rub of the center guard, and they are going to drag it into the 8-foot. That is a very good result for John there.
Yeah, that's a really great shot by John. It doesn't matter how you get there. You get there. And, Anthony running out there to peel that guard real fast.
Yeah, we will note that 4-1 game here. The score bug does say 4-3, but just for everyone watching out there, it is a 4-1 game.
And a perfectly executed peel.
Great peel there.
We'll probably see Team Joyce try to put that center guard back. And that's indeed the call. They're going to try to put that center guard back. So John settling in the hack, getting ready to throw what will be a centerline guard.
Yeah, I think if you're Team Joyce here, you just want to kind of extend this end for a while. You want to have Team Pizzetti playing out front, and I don't think you want to do anything in the house until probably Bill's, maybe even Bill's second.
Yeah, maybe Bill's second, but at the very least his first. So
this one is a little wide, trying to get the big sweep here to get the big swoop. Now we've seen it curl a lot at the end, and there it goes. Can they get it to the center line? Big scrub here by David and Peter, and they will just get it. Not quite to the center line, but in the way for Team Pizzetti, and no hesitation for Anthony to come and peel that. Great sweep by David and Peter.
Yeah, good sweep there, David and Peter. And you know, when you've got a third sweeping, you always question, is this going to be enough? But no, Peter, for sure, for my money there, gave it a great sweep.
And now they're trying to get this peel over. Big sweep here by Larry, and they will. Great sweep by Larry Tobin to get the peel, and the front is open again. That was a little dicey halfway down the sheet, and you could see the reaction from Larry there. A big smile on getting that one. A great sweep by him. That was one where you definitely don't want to flash that.
Yeah, that was one where after it's over you think, never in doubt, never in doubt. But during it, really, your heart's a little bit up in your throat as that's coming down. So now we're going to see Peter try to put that guard back. Like we mentioned, the strategy here, Sean, put the guard, make him peel, put the guard, make him peel, and then on Bill's first is when you start thinking about playing something maybe in the house to set up a chance for a steal.
So this one is a little tighter than the last ones we've seen on this line. So David's trying to hold it out. You don't want it to over curl. Doing a good job on this sweep, just holding it out, and then we'll see what happens here as it crosses the hog line. Should get to the other side of center as it dives, but it loses the handle and actually stays. I think got a little lucky there that it lost the handle. Didn't quite cut as hard as we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, it did tend to, or tried to stop there, the handle, but in any event, Anthony was going to peel it no matter where it ended up. So all good.
So Devin Martin here is with his first in the third, going to try to peel this away. Just a nice clean here from Larry Tobin, and that is going to send that off. Scott, I don't know if you saw last week at the Grand Slam of Curling, but there were fans dressed in banana costumes cheering for all the peels.
Sean, there's a Grand Slam of curling? Yes, of course I saw that. The peel fans were cheering all the peels. I don't think the rest of the fans really appreciated it after a little bit. I heard they got booed.
There were some boos. Well, I couldn't tell if it was boos from the peel or there was one peel where they didn't start chanting peel.
Oh.
And then they were booed because they missed the peel. So I'm mildly surprised that we don't have any banana costumes here so far at the Over the Rainbow Bonspiel. But as I said, you never know what's going to happen. And costumes are part of this.
That's right.
So that, there, Peter, a little heavy, rolling off here and coming to the back of the forefoot. Interesting spot, though.
Yeah.
I think you're definitely going to hit the one Peter just threw, but the angle now on the top has changed, maybe to the benefit of Team Joyce.
I think it is a little to the benefit of Team Joyce. Pizzetti's going to try and hit this and roll away from the center line. Ideally, you want to free up any jam possibility to make sure that any hit on that top red's not going to lead to a double.
Yes, that's a very important detail. Is you don't want to give up any doubles, nor do you want to have something in the way for when Bill inevitably plays on that center that a double would jam.
Exactly, yeah.
So a very important for where this rock ends up. Big scrub right over the hand by Larry Tobin on Devin Martin's last. Coming in all the way, and now just letting off a bit, trying to get some curl at the end as they try to go the other direction. And they will roll behind the shot stone and actually be open on the in-turn side, and this might be a chance for Team Joyce.
Might be a chance here, Sean. I don't know if I'd play the draw or if I'd play something on that top red right now.
The draw is certainly the more aggressive play, and as I said last end, I think that is Bill's strength.
Yeah.
And looked like Peter wanted to go with the hit, but Bill was having none of it.
Bill said, no, this is my shot. This is what I'm playing. This is what I'm comfortable with. And of course, it's the draw is the call. So where do you want to put this ideally, Sean? I think you want to be shot rock, maybe biting the button as high as you can be. I don't think you really want to be all the way back to the rock at the biting the back floor.
It's a tough spot. I think if you come to that and he blows it up, then you can play on the top on your next one is maybe what Bill is thinking. Because if you do come behind the shot stone, he's got a pretty easy shot to sit the two.
Yeah, again, if you're frozen right to it, there's room for Team Pizzetti to come down and freeze again and be shot rock. So
very precise shot here for Team Joyce. Big scrub by the front end. David and John are on it, trying to get this into the forefoot. And it is not going to make it. It is going to come up light.
Over curled, a little light there. So now I think Team Pizzetti takes the hammer, or takes the
lead. They have the hammer.
They just take the lead and put one in there where Bill was trying to put it.
But again, a delicate spot here where if you ever create a wall at the back of the forefoot, you could bail out Bill and the guys here. So they are going to play this in-turn draw. Anything, I think top 8 foot is good. If you could just bite the forefoot, you're probably in good shape too. The only thing you can't do here, Scott, is come deep.
Yeah, you don't want to leave enough room for Bill to be able to come down and freeze on top of it. So You're right. Anything high is probably good. That said, the perfect, I think perfect would be right beside the yellow in the top 4 foot.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the spot. Totally even. Because even if Bill makes a double, that's fine. You're going to be drawn for 2 points there.
Exactly.
So real good chance here for Team Pizzetti. Already in control of this game and have definitely dictated the play so far. But a real good chance for them to just take a stranglehold of this A quarterfinal.
And here it comes.
Front end gets on it right out of his hand. Sort of a heavy clean. Now they're picking it up.
I think they got to go for line.
Big scrub here. Travis and Larry trying to get it in. Big scrub as it comes in. Getting into the top of the 12 foot. Can they get it to the 4 foot? Yes, they can. Wonderful shot by Anthony Pizzetti. A little deeper than we said, Scott, but not much room here for Team Joyce to work with.
No, not much room, that's for sure. And you can't really blame the sweepers on that one. They needed to go for line to get it past those 2 reds. And where they've put it, boy, I don't know. I'm just glad that I'm sitting behind the glass here on this one, Sean.
Yeah, this is not one I'd be excited to throw. You might have something on the outturn side, potentially, but there is not much going on here for Team Joyce. You can see there, Team Pizzetti very happy with what's going on, and hard to blame them as Larry takes his jacket off from all that sweeping. They did tell us, Scott, before the game that if the game goes too long or if a movie is too long, Larry is the most likely to die of natural causes in that scenario. So don't want to make him work too hard, apparently.
No, exactly. Yeah, those if those horror movies go on too long, poor Larry is the recipient of the joke from his team. But no, he's more than held his own with his shots and his sweeping so far today.
A 17-time Grand Slam champion, and she's a lifetime.
All right, you might be able to hear behind us the Emma Miskew event is kicking off here. She is in the Ottawa Curling Club for the, I don't know if it's a guest speaker or what are those called where you're the primary speaker at an event? The keynote.
Keynote address.
So Emma Miskew is here, so you might hear that in the background. And with that, the warm room here gets a little less crowded. So lots of stuff going on here. So if you do hear something in the background, it is Emma Miskew here at the Ottawa. As Bill Joyce settles in, facing 3 with his last here in the 4th end, down 4-1.
And I think they got to get on it, Sean. Hurry hard.
And John and David are giving up on it.
On the top.
They are going to go bang, bang, and push out the top 4-foot stone. It does look like Pizzetti, they're definitely sitting 1. Not sure about 2.
You know what? I think it's just 1. This is going to be a draw for 2.
So that's not a terrible result for Bill.
No.
Not what he called, but better than it could have been.
Definitely better than it could have been. And I think if you're Team Joyce after the way the first few rocks went, first 6 rocks, I think you're pretty happy with this outcome.
Absolutely. Right? So, and this is not an easy draw. Everything has been the other side of the sheet for Team Pizzetti in their draws so far. They haven't played on this side yet. Bill has thrown a lot of his guards here on this outturn side. So should know the path from that, but a tough one here for Anthony. And I think it's always tough, Scott, when you go in an end from peel to having to throw a draw on the last for the sweepers to know exactly what they're looking for.
Yeah, for sure. When you're sweeping, it's for me, it's all about feel, right? It's how do I feel as the rock's coming out of the thrower's hand.
So big sweep here.
Yeah.
Larry Tobin trying to get it to stay straight and drag it in. Travis joins in. Can they get it there? They cannot. A little light for Anthony Pizzetti on his last. It's going to be one yellow for sure. They will take a look to see if it is a multiple.
Yeah, I think it's one for Team Pizzetti, Sean. We'll see how long it takes them to decide, but while they're deciding...
Well, I'll just say, just as a clue, you always know which team thinks it's theirs based on who backs off. The fact that Team Pizzetti is the one looking makes you think that it might be Team Joyce.
Yeah.
Because their guys are pretty confident standing back. Looks like it is going to be a score of 1 and a 5-1 lead for Team Pizzetti after 4 ends here in this A qualifier at the 2025 over the Rainbow Bonspiel.
That's right, Sean. And halfway through the game, I think we're seeing a really strong game played by Team Pizzetti. But I want to give a shout out to some of our sponsors here for this event, Stroked Ego and Skanes General Contracting, 2 gold level sponsors, along with YOW Home Team, a real estate company here in Ottawa. So big thanks to those 3 companies helping to put on this event. It's great fun as we're having here. Everyone on the sheets are having fun, and everyone in the lounge there is having a good time. So big thanks.
And my apologies to Kevin Martin for mixing him up with Kevin Nixon in the last game. It happens. It happens.
Yeah, well, I thought it was the other Kevin Martin, Sean. So by whom I mean the Big Brother Canada winner.
Of course, yes, of course. Yes.
Yeah.
The Kevin Martin that everybody watching the stream would be the most familiar with.
Exactly, yes.
Of course.
Yes. Is there another one?
No, not that I can think of. No,
Yeah.
no.
How about that?
All right, we are into the back half of this A quarterfinal game. First rock by Larry Tobin comes in the top 4 foot, and Bill eschewing the corner guard strategy here and going to come in, try and play a freeze.
Sean, we, in one of our most recent episodes, talked about strategy at the club level, and we too spoke of how corner guards are not often useful. That said, when you're down 4 points, I think putting 1 up is probably the play.
It can be useful in this scenario. Sometimes you have to get a little more aggressive and ignore stuff in the house, but that being said, David with a nice shot there, tapping it back. Certainly the shot stone now is available, but that yellow stone is something that they can use Team Joyce later in the end to freeze.
Definitely. So we'll probably see Team Pizzetti here hit. And as I said earlier, when the lead gets a chance to hit,
Don't get in his way.
let's make a hit here. Let's go, Larry.
Just a light clean here. Picking up a bit at the end. Very nice hit. A little hit flop over towards the other yellow. And again, it's 2 for Team Pizzetti that David Martins will be facing with his second. Bill changing up the turn and I think the strategy here. Going to go with a hit.
Yeah, a little interesting decision from Bill. For my money on this, I think I might play another little tap back. Try and set up a wall of yellow granite at the back of the house, and in that way will make it much more difficult for your stones to be removed.
A little wide here, trying to make it curl at the end. And they're actually going to get the outside one and flop in behind.
All right.
Not shot stone, but a red one is in play that Team Pizzetti is going to have to deal with. But it is 1 yellow at the moment. And as we saw last end, really no hesitation here for Team Pizzetti trying to get rid of these red stones.
That's right, Sean. And nor should there be any hesitation. Just if you're Team Pizzetti in this situation, make them all go away.
Devin Martin with the sweep on this one as it's going to curl up and hit roll to the outside. I think Anthony wanted that one out of play.
Yeah, anything that's sticking around at the back is probably help for Team Joyce here. They're looking to have a big score, and anything that's hanging around is a possible jam. So you just really want to minimize those stones if possible.
So it's John Whitaker, the second for Team Joyce, with his first here in the fifth end, and calling the intern hit. We've seen John a few times struggle with keeping the rock, the shooter, in play here. And this is one that it is going to be key where you're going to want to do this. Big scrub by Peter and David. Going to get a little bit of a roll towards the other side of the sheet, but that's more what we're looking for and what we expect from John as well.
For sure. That's one of John's strengths, those lightweight hit shots. So the exact weight that we were calling for early in the game, and we see it on display here in the fifth.
Team Pizzetti is going to try to remove this, and I would imagine that Anthony would like this one potentially to roll out as well. Keep this as clean as possible for the rest of the end.
Ideally you'd make a double and get rid of everything, but you can't get rid of everything all the time.
Just a straight peel. No complaints there for Team Pizzetti. And now we'll see what John can do on this freeze attempt.
Yeah, he's going to be freezing down to the one back 12 foot. That way it'll make it harder to remove and give his team an opportunity to hopefully, after Pizzetti's shot, sit two.
We haven't seen a lot of inside-out shots towards the board so far in this game, or really all day, Scott. So Bill's given him about 5 feet here, which should be right. But again, we haven't really seen it, so we'll have to see how this reacts once it comes off the line.
Yeah, it should be all right. Like you said, they tend to stay on the line for a while and then start going. But this one's made it off the line. It looks like it's curling pretty good.
Yeah, David's inside trying to make a curl. Now the sweepers come completely off of it. Line looks very good. If they can get it to curl a bit, great shot. Perfect freeze by John Whitaker, and it is Team Joyce sitting the one.
Yeah, nice shot there by John. Weight was really good. The sweeper's just dusting it in. So this one, maybe a little bit of pressure back on Team Pizzetti.
So Devin Martin's going to try to kill everything in the house, and if the shot is made, there should be nothing left for Team Joyce to throw at, but this one is over curling, and they are going to get it right on the beak, it looks like. Everything goes flying, but the yellow one does remain, so we will see another freeze here by Team Joyce.
Yes, one would assume that's going to be the call. Another freeze down to the yellow stone, now sitting back 8 foot.
Great shot there by Devin, and you got to think that Anthony is pretty confident, feeling pretty good as he stands awaiting this last rock or first rock by Peter here in the fifth.
Yeah, Peter retired from Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation, CMHC. So, he's had a lot of time to work on his curling game since being retired, and hopefully he can weld one on here.
So this one has more room out of the hand than John's did. So they're going to have to make this one move. Again, you see David on the inside of this curl trying to push it, trying to make it curl. It's going to have to go a long way as it's still on the center line.
Ideally, they're going to want to make this shot rock, and they will do that.
They do. It is shot rock, but no real threat of a jam here.
No, and Anthony racing up to call this appeal. Shots delivered quickly. It's something we like to see, Sean.
Just a light clean here by Larry, and that is going to be a nose hit. Roll it away. See him try and get it out of play, and it will. Great shot there by Devin. And Peter will have a second crack at this freeze attempt.
Yeah, and Sean, we mentioned, John working for the public service, Peter being retired from the public service. Devin himself works in the Ontario Public Service.
Yeah.
So a big thanks to him for his service. Line looks a little better on this one out of his hand. Sweepers seem to like the weight.
And this one is going hard. Don't think they like the weight, though.
Think it's a bit heavy?
I think it's a bit light.
Interesting. And overcurled where they would have wanted it to be.
It did. So not what you're looking for there. I'd be tempted to still peel it, to be honest, if I'm Team Pizzetti here. Just peel it out and don't mess around. You could split the house as well. But if you ever allow for a freeze or maybe even a straight draw behind that corner, you could give them the opportunity for a deuce.
Yeah, and it looks like Larry.
Yeah, Larry and Travis here have something to say about what this call is going to be.
But it does look like the call is to split the house.
I think they want it in the 4-foot.
Yeah. I understand going a little wider to say, hey, maybe let's not give up a long hit and roll into the pocket there that could give Team Joyce an opportunity, but looks like they just wanted to take a bit more ice.
And they did. They moved the broom from the center line to the edge of the 4-foot. So more ice here now for Anthony. Because, again, you don't want to be in a situation where a freeze would be shot stone on the current shot rock. So you want to make sure that this one is going to be shot and that a freeze on the other side doesn't compromise what you've built so far this end.
Yeah, that's for sure. So good job. Team decision there talking about that.
Here's the first. Anthony Pizzetti in the 5th end. And the sweepers are on it right out of his hand. Don't want to be light here either. Don't want to give them something to come around.
Definitely not. Definitely don't want to be late.
Big scrub here, trying to get it into the 4-foot. Can they get it there? Yes, they can. Beautiful shot by Anthony Pizzetti into the tee line in the 4-foot. Wonderful shot. You can see the smiles on their face, and it's been all smiles so far for Team Pizzetti.
Yeah, for sure. But is there, Sean, a shot now where Team Joyce can hit this one and roll into a position where they're in front of the other Pizzetti stone, making it difficult to remove?
It is possible. That's a long roll and a tough shot. Bill is going to play the intern at this, so it should come off a little flatter, so maybe they're playing to get it right on top.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think that would be ideal if they could do that. And I would recommend like a board weight here. I don't think you need to throw too hard. You don't want to risk rolling out. A little board weight, roll it over, snuggle it right up to that other yellow rock.
Because the rings are pretty lively here, so yeah, you don't need that much weight, but you probably want to hit a quarter of this rock and get a good sweep on that roll. So
exactly.
Nothing yet from the front end. They do need this to curl up, and it will right on the beat. So Team Joyce is sitting the 1 with the hammer, but wide open here for Anthony Pizzetti.
Yeah, and I feel like Anthony and the team are probably going to want to hit this and roll a bit away. That said, they could roll in towards the center line and say, "Hey, Bill, I dare you to play. I dare you to play a hit."
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing you don't really want to do here is roll out and let Bill potentially blank. Not that you're too upset if there's a blank here if you're Team Pizzetti, because it kills an end. You have the 4-point lead. But if you can force them, that's better.
That's better, yeah. You want to get the control of that hammer back, if at all possible.
There are some people from Halifax, but the early trials are this year.
Cleaning right out of his hand. Sweepers seem to like it.
You got to love an easy clean. Now Larry Tobin is on it to try and make it curl up. He is going hard. Big sweep here to get the curl. and it will hit. It will roll to the outside, and it will roll out. So it is only going to be one facing Team Joyce now. What do you do, Scott, if you are Team Joyce?
Well, Sean, if I'm Team Joyce, I try to peel and blank, keep that hammer, and try to get some momentum going for a three-ender as soon as possible. That said, we saw him play freezes on his earlier attempts where, if Team Pizzetti came in, Team Joyce was freezing instead of throwing guards. So when it comes to this shot, it looks to me like with that ice, he's playing a draw down to the backing.
Yeah, so this is where you start to play the scoreboard math of if you score, you're down by 3, and you're going to have to steal. Whereas if you blank, you have to get a 3 at some point, but you can go 3, force 2. Like, this is forcing you to steal. So that's the math that Bill and Peter were doing down there. And what do you want to do? Like, do you want to be in a situation where you have to steal, or do you think you can get a couple multiples, including a 3, while forcing? So it's a really tough spot. Bill is not thrilled with this throw.
No,
a lot of weight. They're going to need this one to stop, and it doesn't look like the Rock is inclined to cooperate. It's going to sail on through. It's another steal for Team Pizzetti, and a 6-1 lead after 5 ends here in the A quarterfinal of the 2025 over the Rainbow Bonspiel.
Yeah, Sean, tough one there. I'm going to thank some more of our sponsors. Some silver sponsors is Shepherd Psychotherapy and Pivot Turn Property Management. Thanks to both of them for being part of this great event this weekend as silver sponsors. And Sean, I don't know, what do you do if you're Team Joyce starting this 6th end?
This is going to be tough. I think if you're Team Joyce, this is the time to go with the corner guards. As much as we don't necessarily like them all the time, I think you're going to have to get some junk out front. Team Pizzetti has clearly proven that they are very capable at removing your stones. So you're going to need some protection for them. So I do wonder if Bill's going to change up the strategy. We'll have to see how it plays out.
That's right, Sean. And we are seeing across the sheets one game at least finishing, the game on the sheet beside this one on sheet 3, coming to a close after 5 ends, it would seem, with a score of 9-0. So Team Red getting skunked there on sheet 3. On our feature sheet, we'll see if that impacts the way the ice behaves at all as we continue this game. First rock for Team Pizzetti into the 4-foot. And should we expect anything less from Larry Tobin?
We should not at this point.
Automatic all game.
No, he's been very, very good. So again, all smiles for Team Pizzetti, as you can see there. And here we go, and we talked about it, and Bill is going to change up the strategy here. Go with the corner guard on this shot.
Looks a bit hot, though, coming in.
Indeed it does. You don't want this one in play. You don't want to give them the opportunity to hit this. And that is exactly what has happened here. Comes in back of the house, back 8 foot. So you'll see a hit here from Larry Tobin.
Leads playing hits, always fun. So we'll see what Larry's able to do. Pretty straightforward spot here.
Yeah, so we'd expect nothing else here from Anthony and the guys, but this is a little wide. Travis is on the sweep trying to make a curl up to get rid of this red, and first mistake, really, that we've seen from Larry Tobin.
So there you go, Sean. We started talking him up, and he got a bit cocky.
That's the broadcaster drink, jinx.
Jinx, yeah.
We owe him a drink for that one there. Yeah, the commentator jinx on Larry. So Bill is going to, I think, throw another corner, it looks like.
I thought he indicated he might want to hit, but the corner would make more sense to me.
I agree. So we'll see what David does here.
You know, in truth, Sean, you can call anything you want, but it really just depends what the thrower throws.
That's true. The power is all with the person with the stone. So big sweep here by John and Peter. This is a hit attempt. Can they get a piece of the yellow? They cannot. So the teams trade flashes there. Over curl for Team Joyce, and it was an outside flash for Team Pizzetti. So we'll now see Travis try to remove this red stone. Scott, because it's behind the tee line, I would not be surprised if they're trying to peel this out and get rid of their yellow as well. I don't think you want the shooter hanging around.
Absolutely. You want the shooter as far away from this as you can get it. Hit it and peel it away, because it can't do you any good sitting behind the tee line there.
Now another big sweep to try and get this one to curl. And they do. Good job by Larry. Nice throw by Travis, and it does roll out.
Yeah, a real positive release there from Travis. A little inside out. Made it such that it was a bit of scary moments there for Team Pizzetti, but in the end, makes it exactly the way you want it to be made.
So now it's Team Joyce second, John Whitaker, with his first of this sixth end, and they're going to go back to the freeze strategy, and at this point in the end, hard to blame them because guards are peelable now that we are beyond the 5-rock rule. So this yellow stone is really all they have to try and generate some offense. So you kind of have to throw the freeze here, Scott.
I think so, yeah. And I'm sure we'll see Team Pizzetti be blasting. But if you put this one in the right position, it's going to be tough to remove.
Line looks really good as we come down. Nothing doing from the sweepers. Is it trying to curl to the nose of it? That's a wonderful shot. That's 2 in a row from John, his last of the last end, and his first one here. 2 wonderful freezes for John. Maybe over curled a hair, but wonderful weight, beautiful shot.
Yeah, for sure. And John must be feeling the ice getting his legs under him, you know. Not a regular member at this club anymore, so I played here a long time, but it's going to be different every time underfoot.
So as you said, Scott, they're going to try to blow this up and get rid of everything. Just a light dusting from the sweepers, and there everything goes. A great shot by Travis. And now it's going to be tough sledding for Team Joyce to generate any offense here in this end. So if you are Team Joyce, where are you going to try to put this?
Probably you want it to be high. Maybe a biter. Biter would be ideal. Then you might get a nose hit from Team Pizzetti that would set you up with a corner guard. So I think that's where you want to put it, just biting the top 12 foot.
Yeah, really all you can ask for here is either a flash or a nose hit on these peels that are coming up. So
exactly.
Yeah, so a biter would be great in that if you get a flash, it's in the house and potentially could count for you. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you get a nose hit, it still provides the coverage of a guard. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, really a delicate spot here. A very precise shot for John, but if you're Bill and Team Joyce, you're going to take any guard you can get. Big sweep here to get this one over. Try and get it off the center line. Peter trying to push it over as much as he can. Great sweep there by Peter and David. Get that one off the center, but no surprise that Team Pizzetti rushing up to peel this one.
Yeah, you're peeling this all day, but nice attempt by John there. Really, you just couldn't be deep on that one, and so this one, you know, it's making the other team deal with it, and they do.
Perfect peel there by Devin Martin. Well done for him, and we'll see another guard attempt here by Team Joyce. Scott, when games get into this point, especially an end like this, where we're seeing guards and peels, and that's what we'll get probably until Bills first, or we might see play in the house. What is the mindset for you as the skip?
Really, so as the skip who's throwing the guards, I'm preparing myself to throw that draw, the last shot draw. I know that's probably what I'm going to have to score at the end, draw to the 4 foot. So in my mind, as I'm calling these, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, okay, no matter where these all end up, that's probably what I'll have to score at the end. when I'm skipping the team that's peeling, I just think, like, let's just make their rocks go away. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter where they go. Even if we knows it's not the end of the world, if we knows we're going to have a run back, if they make a perfect draw in behind. So really it's just about getting the rocks out of the way.
And you mentioned trying to throw something that was a biter. That is a biter. So a wonderful shot there by Peter. So if this is a nose hit, does turn into a guard that Team Joyce can use, but they are looking to roll away. Curiously for me, Anthony did indicate that he wanted this one to stick around in the 12-foot, so wanted to roll open side, high side, but not looking to roll out.
Yeah, if it's me, I think I just like rolling out. Sticking around is not great. And, ooh.
There you go. That's the opportunity that Team Joyce was looking for.
There you go.
Nose hit, and now something's doing here. Have an opportunity to come around it and potentially generate a multiple score out of nothing here.
Yeah, really out of nothing. So if Peter can make a good one, sink it in behind that yellow guard, Team Pizzetti's going to have to throw a run back to try and eliminate it, or else risk a multiple score.
It's a big shot here for Peter.
Line looks good.
Sweepers are on it.
I think they like the weight.
Yeah, trying to make it curl now.
It's the curl a bit.
There goes John Whitaker on the sweep, trying to push it over, trying to get it behind that guard.
Really nice shot. Really nice shot there by Peter.
Yeah, that's a great throw. Looks like it might be half open, but if you're Anthony Pizzetti, I don't think you're messing around with this. You're throwing
this run back all day. Yeah.
You might even peel. Like, if you give him two, you're probably not too upset. You just don't want to be in a situation where if you ever just off nose and sort of keep it half hidden, half buried on the other side where he could tuck something behind it.
Yeah.
3 is very unlikely here, but 3 is in play at this moment. So you want to do something that doesn't allow for a 3.
Exactly. So just a hair high side here on the clockwise turn, in turn for a right-hander. Should be exactly what they're looking for. Taking no ice on this one, Sean. Burns right in the middle.
Right in the middle, right where he wants to hit it. I'll say, I don't know what we've done to Bill to make him mad at us, but he is standing directly in front of us, so...
yeah, come on, man.
Come on, Bill. Give the people what they want. So Anthony Pizzetti, his first here in the 6th end, trying to make this run back.
Looking to curl it. I say they just peel it at this point.
Larry Tobin on the sweep, trying to make it curl. It will go over the top of the shot stone and roll away. So it is Team Joyce sitting the 1. Skips rocks to come here in the 6th.
Yeah, so Sean, Bill is indicating he wants to split the house. Good call here. I think I would do the same. You want to keep that rock even with the rock that is currently shot. Set up no doubles. Give no opportunity. What do they say? Give no quarter, no mercy.
Yep.
Just no opportunity for a double here.
Yeah, I think this is a situation where, Scott, both teams are going to be okay with the 2. Like, Bill will be thrilled to be 2, kind of get back into the game, and Team Pizzetti is not going to be too upset to be up 3 with the hammer with 2 to play. So I think, obviously, Anthony would have liked to have made that shot, obviously. But I think both teams will take a 2 here. So obviously 3 shots still to come that have to be made for that to happen. But as we look forward here, I think both teams would take the situation of a 2.
You're absolutely right, Sean.
Now, Bill did miss his draw there in the 5th end. So if he's going to err here, it's likely to be on the light side.
Well, it looks pretty good to me.
Sort of on and off for the sweepers here. Just going to watch it in. You want to make sure that it's level with the other one. Bill looks a little concerned there. A bit of a nod of the head. There might be a double. I don't know if you need to take it on if you're Pizzetti, but It might be there. Scott, what would you do?
I think you might as well try. As long as you make one of them go away, you're not sad, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty thick double here. So
It is.
It's not a case where if you're trying to thin double, you might flash. This is one where you're going to err on the side of hitting it too thick. So
For sure.
I think this is definitely the right call here, going with the out turn, which should come off the rock a little higher.
Yeah.
So that's the turn you got to play to make this, because it is a little flat, but definitely is there.
It's definitely flat, but possible. This isn't Grand Slam of curling rocks, from what I've learned in the last 45 minutes. But it's possible, but it'll be tough.
I'd expect this to be about 8 seconds, coming down hog to hog.
Yeah, it should be coming pretty hard.
I was actually throwing the in-turn at it. A little surprised. It looked like it was ice for the out-turn. Now trying to make it curl, and it is going to not quite come up for them, just a nose hit. They are the shot stone, but it will be an open hit 4-2 for Team Joyce.
Yeah, pretty good pro side miss there, Sean, to hit it on the nose. It's going to have to take a good shot from Bill to hit and stick this one to score their 2.
Are you surprised with that turn choice, Scott? I really thought that because the out turn would come off higher off the stone, that's the turn they would have played, unless they weren't thinking the double at all.
No, I'm a little surprised, but I think the way that they threw it with the in-turn, it would have had to switch turns to come off, and might have rolled a little flatter. But in the end, the goal to hit the opponent's stone and make it go away, that was what was required, and that's what happened.
So here's Bill Joyce, his last rock here in the 6th end. Open hit.
Looks
now
good.
John Whitaker gets on it with a light clean, and it'll come in well done, and it is a score of 2 for Team Joyce, and the lead is now 6-3 for Team Pizzetti as we go to the 7th end.
Big deuce there, Sean. 6-3 for Team Pizzetti. And so I think we're going to keep playing. Seems to be the indication. 6-3 game going into the 7th end. Team Pizzetti will have the hammer. So very good job by Team Joyce to get that multiple score there. Want to take this time too to thank Axion Walker Insurance and the Centertown BIA for their support of this great event happening here at the Ottawa Curling Club. We're very happy for the support and happy that to be able to be here and bring you live coverage from Sheet 2. So score is currently 6-3. 6-3 is the score as Team Joyce throws the first rock at the end. They're going to be looking to steal, so they're going hard. They're going to be showing, throwing definitely centerline guards, trying to get everything they can in behind there and clog up the middle for Team Pizzetti. So a really good start there from David. Nice shot, getting that centerline guard in the right position. Now we jinxed Larry earlier with his second shot. We'll see if he can turn it around here and make a good one. Looks to me like they're calling a come-around guard in behind, and we'll see if he can put it into the 4-foot. Sweepers seem to like it out of his hand. They're on and off. And the line looks good. The weight looks good. There you go. That's the Larry we've come to know and love throughout the game, Sean.
Yeah. Very nice shot by Larry Tobin there. Here as we play in the 7th end, Scott, I failed in my Scott Hansen effort.
Sean, nobody would have
sadly.
known.
I know. And if anybody knows what that means, you know what that means. But my Scott Hansen effort is out the door on this one. So a nice setup here right now for Team Joyce with that center guard. And very important here, I think, for David to get this one frozen onto the shot stone.
Yeah, either frozen on the shot stone or another high guard would not be a bad call. I think they're playing the freeze, but if you end up being high on the center line, it's pretty good.
Yeah, anything that really serves as shrapnel here for Team Joyce, you're going to be happy with.
Yeah, what you don't want to do is set up a double peel, but
little tap here.
Not too bad.
Not bad. Now, curious here is what Team Pizzetti's going to do, because you can't quite get to the face of yours if you're Anthony. So he's going to have Larry come the other way, or go wider, on the outturn side, and try to get another one buried here behind the red, and really put the pressure on Team Joyce.
Yeah, it looks like he's playing the outturn around to try and get one in. They might have played the intern, but they just threw this. They know what they need to do. Sweepers are going hard.
Big scrub here, trying to get this one in. Can they get it by the guard first? Little rub, but it will roll into the 12-foot and into a bite of the 8-foot. Very nice sweep there by Travis and Devin. They really went post to post on that one.
Yeah, that's the one where you got to thank your sweepers for getting it in the exact right position. You know what I mean?
But when you're a lead, I got to say, you don't feel too bad about doing that because you're sweeping the whole game. So make them do it.
Yeah, so you guys can sweep one of my rocks at least, right? So what are we going to see here?
So Bill looks like he's calling a board weight hit.
A little raise?
I can't tell. It looks like the shot stone is maybe a quarter to half open. So I guess that's a third if it's between a quarter and half. But it looks like that was the call. Big sweep here for David and Peter.
Yeah, a little tap on the red one to try and knock it right back.
And they will tap it back, and they will remove the shot stone, and it is going to be Team Joyce sitting the one. Nice run back there for John.
Great shot by John, Sean. I'll tell you what, he's heating up.
He is. He's playing really well here in the back half of this game. We saw him with a few that he's not going to be happy with in the first half of the game, but he's been pretty spot on here since the 4th end.
Exactly, yeah. That's more the John Whitaker that I'm used to seeing out on the ice.
So now we're going to get back into the peel game for Team Pizzetti. Interesting, Scott, I think where these two guards are, he can't get them both without driving something into the house.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think the double jams on the yellow sitting top 12-foot,
So they're going to go with, I think they're going to try to hit the high one first on an outturn and try to spin everything away.
Get that gear effect going.
All right, everybody drink again. We got gear and they're going to hit the low one first, tap it away. Not bad, not what they were hoping for, but certainly I think both teams actually might be happy with that shot, Scott. It leaves the red center guard in play for Team Joyce to play with, but it also pushes the red one out to a corner. So one of those rare shots that I think both teams kind of like.
That's right, yeah. So the center guard is now yellow instead of red, but you're right. Team Joyce has a few options on what they can do here. It looks like they're thinking about tapping the yellow, removing it from play and sitting two.
Yeah, the second shot rock, the yellow one, is accessible here for John. So it looks like they're going to play a control weight hit and try to remove it and sit the two.
Yeah, that looks like the call. I think I might be more inclined to play a little tap back on the shot stone, put it into the top 4, top button position. But let's see how this one works out.
Well, would you ever throw another guard just to
Yeah,
prolong the end a bit?
definitely could do that.
They are playing the hit. Right through the hole, and a little roll on top, and actually roll over the top of the shot stone. It is Team Joyce sitting the 2, but I think there might be a double here, Scott.
This is where we play that double trouble sound sting, right? Anyway, it's it's double trouble here, and Team Pizzetti is set up for a pretty natural half rock double.
Yeah, you can hit anything from, I think, a quarter to half of this red one, of the top one, and they both should go for you. And we've seen so far that Travis has been able to throw the weight, so as he settles into the hack here, would certainly give him a good chance to make this double. Big weight on that kick, a little bit of an arm extension. Right out of his hand, though, Devin Martin is on the sweep. Larry Tobin joins in with him. It is curling pretty hard. It'll hit and it will roll over the top, tap the shot stone. So they do not make the double, and it is still Team Joyce sitting the 1. Somewhat curiously, almost the exact same situation facing Peter as John was facing a couple minutes ago, as the yellow one is accessible through the hole, but the shot stone is now moved back about a foot.
That's right. So it looks like we're going to see Bill call the same shot that he called for John. Play that little hit through the hole. We'll see if Peter rather can not roll quite as much on this one.
So right over his hand, David is on it the whole way.
Yeah, I think they're trusting that this is going to curl at the end.
Looks like they're through the hole. They are. Nose hit.
Really nice shot there. Really nice shot.
I feel like Peter needed that one.
Yeah.
After a few tough ones for him so far today. That'll give him a bit of confidence here for his last 3 through the course of this game. And for Team Joyce to have a chance here, he's going to need to make all 3 of them. So
absolutely.
Good to see that for Peter. And now we will have a run back attempt here for Devin Martin, looking to hit that center yellow guard right back onto the shot stone. Not going to be upset if they peel it.
Yeah, peel's okay in this situation, Sean. What you just don't want to do is leave them with a guard and not remove anything.
Big sweep there to make it curl, and they do get the shot stone. The raised stone will roll out of play, but you're not going to complain about that if you're Anthony Pizzetti right now. It does leave Team Joyce sitting the 1, but 1 fewer guard out there and 1 fewer red stone in play. Great shot by Devin Martin.
Great shot there, Sean. Great shot. Being able to run that back and not only remove the shot stone, but you move the guard over to the side so you're not dealing with it at the end. Yeah, that's really, really good. If I'm Team Joyce, I'm probably putting that guard back. Even though I'm sitting 1, I don't want to go in and sit 2. I want to make sure I've got a chance to actually steal. So the way you do that is putting up another guard.
And that is the discussion, it looks like. I think Bill called the guard. But now they are discussing it. And as we sit, he's tightening up the broom. Looks like they might be playing T-line weight here, trying to tap back the shot stone. But certainly I don't think they'd be upset if it was light and they had the opportunity to have the guard here. Certainly you'd expect Team Pizzetti to peel. But this one is a little wide. Nothing doing yet from the front end, as it is heavy as well. And this one is going to sail through the house. So unfortunate miss there for Team Joyce. That's always tough when you go from a draw to a tap back, or whenever you have that tap back in your head. Certainly you want to move the stone that you're tapping back, but it's so easy to overthrow those. And you saw that there where I think that line was probably right. He threw it well in terms of the line. But when you add that extra weight, it's going to sail out and be wide. So that shot looks a lot worse, I think, than it actually was thrown, because I think he threw it really well. Just too much weight and didn't have a chance to get back to the tap. So Definitely would have wanted a T-line weight there, but it gives the opportunity here for Devin Martin to remove the shot stone. Big sweep here by Travis as that rock is coming off the line, but they are going to make it roll over to the open side. That is a wonderful shot. Devin Martin is now Team Pizzetti sitting the 1. So now you have a choice here if you're Bill and Team Joyce. Given the scoreboard that you're down 3, I think you are going to look at coming behind the corner guards. You could hit, but that is a really long roll, and you have to score here if you want to give yourself any chance of being in this game. So tough spot for them, but you do have to ignore this yellow stone just given the scoreboard. And that is the call for Bill to come in behind these corner guards. And this is a shot, too, where the line is probably more important than the weight. You don't want to be behind the tee line here, but if you are behind the tee line, it's not as bad. Like, this really does have to be buried. You got to force Anthony into chasing you behind this guard.
No doubt, Sean. That's going to be the key.
So Bill Joyce with his first here in the 7th end.
Sweeper's backing off.
Sweepers are totally backed off on it. And it is not getting the curl they want, which would indicate that this could be deep. Devin Martin on the sweep, and he will pull it back far enough that it is still 1 for Team Pizzetti. So now, if you are Anthony Pizzetti, what do? You can come behind this corner guard situation, but you don't want to give Team Joyce something to freeze to. You don't want to give them a corner freeze. So if you can come open, that might be okay, but then they could hit and roll. This is actually a very difficult spot, I think, if you're Anthony Pizzetti in what to do.
Yeah, there's a lot of spots you can't go. I think you want to be definitely above the tee line. Anywhere sort of from even with their yellow rock back to the tee line is sort of your tolerance, right? So you got about 4 feet to work with. Ideally, you'd be buried behind that guard, but if you're open, it's not a big problem. You should still have a blast even if they freeze on you. But you want to keep it such that if they freeze on you, they're not going to be shot rock. And that's happening when you're above the tee line.
Yeah, so you can see the discussion here in the hack that they definitely want to get this in the right spot. So again, you might think that this is a simple shot, just hit the 2, but you can see with this discussion that they're having in the hack how important it is to get this rock in the correct spot. Because if you put this in the perfect spot, this could be the game winner here in a game that has so far been controlled by Team Pizzetti. But if you put this in the right spot, this could be the capper on that, but they are going hard right out of his hand. You got Travis and Larry on the sweep here. And they back off a little bit as they get towards the hog line. Now they're both back on it.
Yeah, this is a little bit light, Sean.
Trying to make it curl at the end. Now they're both off of it, letting it die, and it'll become perfect in the top 8 foot. That is a wonderful spot. Bill cannot hit that and get under and be shot. I don't think he can tuck behind it. I don't think he could walk it down any better than that, Scott.
No, that's pretty ideal for where you want to be. It was timed about 15 and a half seconds, 16 seconds. So the ice is nice and keen. Yeah, that's really good. I don't know what else to say.
That was a great shot. That is such a good shot. So Bill now with his, looks like he's going to play the hit and roll. The only he's going to play the draw, excuse me.
Yeah, I think you got to play the draw here, Sean. The hit and roll is real tough. It's good if you get it, but it's really, really hard. This draw, I think, is a bit easier. A little more Bill's forte is playing in this draw, even though he's missed a couple so far. But we should see this one be really close.
Yeah, and this is another one, as with his last one, you don't really care if it's behind the tee line necessarily. In fact, this one might have to be behind the tee line to get it buried, because you definitely want it buried. You don't want to give a shot for 3. Although 2, 3 here, it doesn't matter that much, but you got to be buried.
And you just need it to be shot rock, right?
So big sweep here. John and David are on it. It does look like it's over curling, and it is light. It is not going to get there. So it's going to be an open draw. It's not going to be an open draw, as that is it. Gloves are off. It is handshakes on sheet number 2. Call it a 2 for Team Pizzetti, so it is going to be 8-3. If you had this on the money line, that is an important detail. Pizzetti covers the spread here, Scott. The final is going to be 8-3 for Anthony Pizzetti. They are moving on to the A-side semifinal. That is the end of the road for Team Joyce of the 2025 Over the Rainbow Bonspiel. Scott, I think Team Pizzetti full fare on that win. They were in control the entire game.
Yeah, this team showed their pedigree, 2-time silver medalists at the Game Nationals. They were really full money, full value for this game, start to finish. So, good weekend for Team Joyce, making it to this A quarterfinal. But we'll see Team Pizzetti advance on to that semifinal.
Absolutely. So that's going to do it for Scott and I here on the stream tonight. Thanks so much to everybody for joining us. We do have post-game interviews coming up with the skips of Team Joyce and Team Pizzetti. The next game will be at 7 p.m., 4 p.m. Pacific time. So do come back and join us. Then it'll be a new crew with you. But thank you so much for joining us. We'll be with you on post-game interviews in a minute. But do mark the time, 7 p.m. for the next draw from the 2025 Over the Rainbow Bonspiel at the Ottawa Curling Club. All right, here after the A quarterfinal game, we'll start, Bill, with you. Felt like you guys couldn't quite get the rocks in the places you would have wanted them. What was the situation for you guys in that game?
It was always going to be a challenge against Anthony. They're an excellent team, and as we found out, an excellent hitting team. So obviously the strategy we were employing was to try and get some freezes in there, but it was largely unsuccessful. So congratulations, Anthony. Good luck in the final.
So that is a wrap on your weekend here, Bill.
No, we keep going.
Oh, sorry, yes, you're now on the B side. So what do you guys need to do then down on the B side to keep your weekend going?
We need to have some fun tomorrow and see what happens.
Okay. Scott, we said during that game, Team Pizzetti was in control the whole way. What were you seeing?
Yeah, I was really seeing Team Pizzetti in control there from the get. What was the key to you being able to execute your strategy in this game?
So we got out to a lead, which helped. So we've had great draw weight all weekend, so we took advantage of that early. got a little bit of a lead, and then we start leaning on the hits just to keep it clean, because these guys are the draw masters, and I wasn't going to get into some kind of junky stuff and let them crawl back in if possible.
Yeah, I think it was in the fourth end when you scored your point, third end, you had a chance to make him either hit or draw, and where you put your rock was perfect for making him draw. And we wondered at that point, oh, is that the right call against Bill? But, in the end, worked out.
That end, he kind of had us on both sides. Yeah. So, like, my first one, I drew top 4, which is what I wanted to take kind of the easier shot away. Because with the backing, I knew you always had the out-turn draw. Surprised you didn't go for it. A little bit of damage control, maybe. And as I found out, that side was a bit slower because I thought I threw it well, but nope.
Well, what's next for you guys tonight? You're going to have a little bit of fun here?
We're going to have some dinner. Yeah. We're going to have a couple of drinks. We got a little turnt last night, so I think we're going to take it a little easy tonight. All right. But we're still going to have some fun, for sure.
Good stuff. Well, best of luck tomorrow to both of you, or later tonight, and that's all for us.